Oh my god, guys, so here we are at the last review of the Saw series, and it's here. Jigsaw.
Just running scared.
The copycat. The choice is yours.
Which one would you choose?
No, it's not creepy at all.
Okay, so I don't understand the hate for this movie. I'm just going to go outright and say that. I don't really understand why so many people hate this movie. I understand it's not as good as the originals, and the plot twists in this movie are kind of lame, and they kind of just throw it at you for the sake of having plot twists. But overall, it's a pretty entertaining film, and again, it's not really overly violent either. It doesn't have a shit ton of blood in it. It has blood, it's just not like over-the-top blood like some of the sequels. And perhaps that's why this movie is kind of like one of those that people don't really care about. I wouldn't really say this movie's hated, it's just one that kind of like is under the radar. Like nobody really pays attention to it. It happened, it came out, and people kind of just ignore it nowadays. To be honest, I don't get it. It brought Tobin Bell back as Jigsaw, which, I mean, he's been in almost all the Saw movies, so it's not like anything super special, but the fact that they brought him back for the character and for the story, I thought was pretty cool, and the way that they connected the different timelines, like from the past and the present, I think that's awesome. I mean, again, it's kind of weird that they do this to you, but it's also awesome in my opinion, because it keeps you guessing. You know, the whole time you're just sort of like, dude, what's going on here? And in fact, I've actually talked to people who find it very confusing. I don't find it confusing myself. In fact, I find it awesome. It's almost a good thing, the fact that some people find it confusing, because it's not supposed to be something you figure out immediately. You're not supposed to be like, okay, that's what's happening, that's what's going on, that's what's happening. You know, that would just suck if you're watching a movie and you could predict everything in the very beginning. I'm going to say it's pretty impossible to predict who the killer is in this movie, but it's not like the most challenging thing ever. Like, I've seen harder plot twists. Like, when it happens, I'm just kind of like, yeah, makes sense. I mean, all in all, different things throughout the movie sort of make sense, but again, there's certain things about it that you couldn't possibly predict. I mean, there's no way that you can literally from the get-go be like, he did that. He 100% did that. I mean, you can't. I mean, there's no concrete proof until the very end of the movie, so no matter how much you think you can predict this movie, you're not going to get it 100%. Even if you get the right guy, there's no way you can predict everything he did. So overall, Jigsaw kind of tries to throw you for a loop unnecessarily at times, but overall, when it does, it definitely surprised me at points. And I love the different timelines going on at once. To me, that's just awesome, because again, it keeps you guessing. I love having Tobin Bell back as Jigsaw, that's fantastic, and I love the guy who winds up being Jigsaw, or Jigsaw's apprentice, rather. I mean, it kind of makes a mess of the previous films, because it's like, the plot kind of just doesn't work with the other films, if you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like, that would mean that there's like 7 or 8, there's like a bunch of different Jigsaw apprentices running around, which I guess would make sense for the different kinds of traps and the different levels of gore in these traps in all the Saw movies. Maybe each of these guys were having hands in each of these traps, you know. Maybe Detective Hoffman had a hand in some of them. Maybe the guy from this one had a hand in making some of the traps. Maybe that's why some of them were not so bloody and violent, because this guy just doesn't do the bloody and violent stuff. I'm not sure. He does some pretty crazy stuff in this movie overall, and it's a very entertaining movie, and it's got a good soundtrack to it. And I love Hello Zep in this song, you know, the song Hello Zep, the signature Saw theme song. It's terrific. But overall, again, Jigsaw's a fantastic film. I don't understand the hate for it. I mean, I understand what people are saying about timelines and stuff and how it could be a little confusing to some people. But again, to me, that's just part of the magic of the film, is they're supposed to throw you for a loop. You're supposed to be kind of confused until the end whenever they do the big explanation where they're like, this is what's happening, and you're an idiot for not figuring it out sooner. They're trying to make you feel kind of ridiculous for not understanding it sooner. But just come on, sit down and enjoy the movie. I mean, it's a Saw movie. What do you expect? An Oscar winner? I mean, it's never going to be like that. Movies are supposed to be enjoyed and entertain you. That's what they're for. You know, and so if you start picking apart a movie, you're gonna hate it. It doesn't matter what movie it is. If I went ahead and start picking apart, you know, Oscar winners, like, I don't know, throwing one off there, Joker, that won some Oscars. I love Joker. I'm just saying, if I wanted to get down to the nitty gritty and start picking shit apart, I could. I could be like, that doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. But you know what? That takes away from the enjoyment. So just sit down and enjoy the fucking movie and stop hating on it for no unnecessary reason. Now, if you have a legitimate reason to hate on it, let me know down below what your reason is. I'll be more than happy to read your opinions and discuss them in the comments if you so wish. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my Jigsaw review. I'm so happy to finally be done with this franchise in a few days when I watch Spiral and I review Spiral, and that'll be over. And then I don't have to cover this franchise for another, at least a year or two until another sequel comes out. But overall, love the Saw franchise. Almost, I'd say, you know what, I'm going to go on a whim. I'm going to say it. All the movies in the Saw series are at least watchable and enjoyable to some extent. I don't love all of them. I've made that totally clear throughout this review series. But I can watch them and I can be entertained by them. So overall, it's probably the most watchable series out there. One of which that I can I can watch almost all of them and get some sort of enjoyment out of it. So anyways, that's my review on Jigsaw. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, subscribe if you're not already, hit the bell to get notified anytime I make a video or stream. Keep up to date with the channel. There's always some crazy going on. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Save me, you should never break me. You're the thing that makes me be afraid of myself. Don't tell me you're sorry, just say a thing to stop me. Help me break the silence, come and save me from myself.